Hello, Oracles. How's it going today? 7,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. What a great day today. I mean, we hit, we're up 3.5%. Green day. We're going to go over some of the stuff in the charts in a moment. Give it a few minutes for everybody to jump in on here. Just kind of enjoying the day today. The week is over. It is Friday. I had a very busy and stressful week at work this week. So thank you all for being here. This ended the week very nicely after the week I have had. So very much looking forward to the weekend. I have a long weekend. I got Monday off because I'm going to be going to the Yankee game late Sunday night with my son. That is my gift to him for being an awesome son. So I'll be taking him out to that. That'll be a good time, and I'll recover on Monday. All right, so let's jump into the charts here. I'll bring it right up. So again, as we're looking, I'm going to take myself off the screen, make it a little easier. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me know how the audio is, because I know we were having some issues with audio on this morning's video, and I don't know if it's a YouTube thing or if it's a me thing. I haven't done anything differently, and I know YouTube has done an update, so definitely a little bit on both ends, maybe. Yes, Alan, definitely looking forward to the Twitter nightmare to be over. Personally, I am on the side of I like him acquiring Twitter. I like what he intends to do with the platform. I'm looking forward to that. But obviously, what it's doing to the stock price right now, I mean, hey, it's been giving us an awesome buying opportunity for the majority of the year on top of the macro blanket pulling us down. So I'm happy about that. But yes, at the same time, it would be nice for this to finally be over. We can have those questions answered and get ourselves back up above this level here. Let's see what else we got. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. Karav, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, Michael? All right. Yeah, so looking at the charts here, again, we are consolidating as I was hoping. We do have this little gap here up to 215, which we did not fill today. We got close, but we did not fill it. So looking at how we are consolidating now, this to me, again, we're talking about how the bottom line here, 200, and we kind of hit it 3 times, right here, right here, right here. So we're pretty close to it. I'm waiting for a solid third bounce. So, like we saw up here with the 314 level, like bounce, 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 and then we ended up coming down. So these are pretty tight, but still, it doesn't matter how tight they are. This is pretty close. So I don't know if we're going to consider this to be 3 or 2, but looking at them right now, if we end up bouncing down to that $200 level again, that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. And if we get to that $200 level again and we bounce off, I am going to anticipate a run filling at least the 215 gap, maybe the 235 gap, maybe the 265 gap. Because like, again, here, bounce, 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 we came crashing down, bounce, 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 we may end up coming up. And again, if that third bounce comes within this channel here and we actually bounce, that would be our breakout of this channel. So we're in this downward channel right now. We're still holding inside of it. And then that's where we're going to see a breakout or a breakdown happen. So that's just what I'm paying attention to next week. And I think next week, depending on what's going to be happening with, this Twitter situation, if Elon does end up selling shares, we'll probably break below 200. If Elon does not sell shares and we get the confirmation that he does not have to sell any shares, we will most likely run up. So that's what I'm paying attention to next week. I think that those are going to be the catalysts. And then don't forget, on November 2nd, we are going to be having interest rates going up again. Yay! Looks like right now we are going to be getting a 75 basis point hike. It's pretty much locked in that we're getting a 75. And getting that information, didn't move the market down. We saw the whole market up today. I mean, we're up over almost 2.5% across the board in all the indices today. So with that kind of movement, I don't know what the market is going to be anticipating for the interest rates. I don't know if it's already priced in or not. Let's see. Yeah, so definitely a buying opportunity. Again, not financial advice. None of this is financial advice, but I'm taking this as a buying opportunity. Rob, yes. Finally don't have homework, so I'm gonna go update all my production numbers and check some charts. So for you guys who don't know Tesla Karav Patel here, he is over on Twitter. I will bring up his Twitter page so you guys can check it out. Let's see here. Because I like to shout you guys out for the hard work that you put in. Tesla Karav. So this is him here. If you guys do not follow him, he's very much like Troy Test like. So he's going to be doing a lot of production and delivery numbers. Difference is Karav is 15, and when did he turn 16? Let me know. So he is still in high school and still kicking butt doing this on top of all of his schoolwork. Troy's been doing this for a while now. Loves Tesla. I think he said he's been doing this since like 2013. So he definitely has some deep numbers in there. Both of them are very awesome. So highly recommend following. Let's see, get back over to here. Bullish. Yes, bullish candle. So looking at the volumes today, let's get back over to here. So volumes are at 75 million. That right there is right in the middle. That's average. So average volume, nice green day on an average volume. Looking at, we started the day low and just kept on creeping up all day long. So it was a very nice day. Let's see here. So like if we look at the 30-minute chart, so this was us. You know, we were coming down and all week and then coming in. So let me see if I could find 5-minute chart. There we go. So this is for today. So nice climb as we went over the course of the day today. So very nice finish. And look at this. This here to finish the day in the 5-minute chart, looking at all of that heavy volume coming in right at the last minute to push us up, that is a good sign for Monday. So that's usually what I pay attention to, is that last 5-minute candle, and that'll give us a good indication as to what we could potentially do Monday. Now, granted, going over the weekend, you never know what's going to happen. We can get the most random news coming out and totally bomb the market on Monday. So we never really know. Owen, let me see here. When will we know if he needs to sell shares? So as of right now, the facts that we have are the court date is October 28th. We know that based upon reports that we got this week, that Twitter and Elon are in talks. They're having cordial discussions to discuss this and hash things out. So I'm guessing they are trying to finalize this deal before going to court, because going to court means they're going to have to spend a lot of money on lawyers and litigation and all sorts of stuff, and neither party wants to do that. So at this point, if Twitter is okay with Elon buying it, which they kind of have no choice, then Elon is going to be working out whatever deal, and they're going to make it happen. Obviously, it is going to happen. Chances are it's going to be happening at that $54.20 per share price, which is $44 billion. Last we knew, based upon Gary Black's numbers, is that Elon has about $5 billion he needs to come up with. The questions we have are, can he take margin on that and not have to sell any shares? Does he have to sell any shares? Does he have any financial backers that have come in to be able to support some of this? We've heard about some kind of small numbers. One we heard yesterday was about $20 million. So, just really a drop in the bucket. But, if he does have enough financial backers coming in, we got, cryptic tweets from him about, burnt hair, and maybe the burnt hair thing going on in Twitter was enough to be able to push them to get to enough financial backers to come in so he doesn't need to sell. We have no confirmation. So today would have been actually based upon, I think Farzad was mentioning how when he was working at Tesla, they usually have their earnings calls on Wednesday, and they were not allowed to sell or buy any shares until the following Monday. So I believe that Monday would be the first time that Elon would be able to sell any shares. And of course, that's in case he didn't do the 10B 5-1, which at this point wouldn't matter anyway, because we're out of that blackout period. So if he's going to sell it, I think Monday would be the first day. So we'll pay attention to that to see if he's going to be doing it Monday. Sounded like there were a lot of shorts that were potentially anticipating him selling today. And that's why maybe we saw a little bit of this squeeze up, but the entire market went up. So I don't think that Tesla going up was related to any of that. So that's it. So we will know for sure I would say by next week because I don't know specifically if they say, all right, the deal is done. You have to do this. Now you need to pony up the money right now, and he'll have to have the money for it, or what's going on. So, still some questions, but I think we're going to find out all of these answers next week. Let's see here. Dear Tesla, can you just export some Berlin Wise to Norway so I can get Vin? Yeah, Norway's awesome. So for you guys who don't know, Norway's basically leading the world in EVs. Their country is like 95% EVs now. It's incredible. So and they're proving it. So all these, and I've been in Norway in the winter. Actually, I wasn't even there in winter. I was there in November, and I know how cold it was. So if a country like that is dealing with it, hearing all these rumors about how the Teslas and the batteries don't perform well in the cold, that's just hogwash. If Norway can do it, anybody can do it. And I don't know if you guys saw the new colors. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I know it was on Twitter. If you guys saw the new colors for, let me see, Tesla Berlin. Here they are. Look at these. That's hot. I like if I had the choice of this color here, I totally would have taken it. This one's nice too. I'm not much of a red guy. I know Eva would love this color here. But yeah, both of these colors, new ones out of Berlin, Berlin only coming out of over there. So yes, I would love to have some of those coming over here to the US. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Let me see. Klaus, it seems the stock quantity was very low today. If there was no need to sell, I think he would have mentioned. Yeah, so the quantity that was moved today in the stock was about average. So on the days, actually, we can go back in the charts and check. Let me see. Because I know he sold in August. So like we're looking at these days here on the red days. So I know it was August around here. So I mean, where you're pushing like the 113 million share range right here, that was when Elon was selling. So if he is going to sell, we'll see a very big red candlestick just like this with all of that volume coming in, pushing the stock down. That's what we would see if he was selling. And you'd see, if you're looking at like the 5 minute chart like we were looking at before, I mean, you'd see candlesticks similar to this early on in the day. So we did see one which kind of was like, "Ooh, is he selling?" Because it came in hot like that, and we weren't sure. But then it kind of fizzled off. So if you're looking at the 5 minute and you see this happening over a good chunk of the day, then there's a chance that he's selling. Let's see here. So yeah, so today was actually really awesome. So not only did I hit 7,000 subscribers, thank you guys so much for that. Building this channel has been just, it's been a year since I've been doing this. 7,000 in a year is unfathomable. I cannot believe it even happened. So thank you guys for that. And then today I also hit 1,100 followers over on Twitter, another milestone I never thought I would ever hit. So thank you guys so much for all of that support. This community is absolutely outstanding. Let's see, what else are we going to go over today? Oh, so the 8K came out. So for you guys who don't know, right here, I check out SEC filings for Tesla. So it's ir.tesla.com. And you can see all the SEC filings, the press releases. This is where they're going to be releasing all of that information for earnings calls, all that stuff. This is where you see it all in case you guys were not aware. So I'll jump into that in a minute because I got Danny over here with a great question. So Danny, yes, where's the next gap? Let me bring that up and I'll show you guys because I was talking to a few of you about this. So when we're looking at the gaps here, go to the day chart. So here it's the grayed out area for me. I was able to do this on my charts to make it easier. I do go to Yahoo Finance if you don't have a chart that shows it like this. And just go to Yahoo Finance and you can see whatever it closed the previous day and what opened the next day. And then you just kind of track to see if it filled. So gaps up, we have this 215 now. We have 234. We have 265. And I don't think there's any more above that right now. I have not seen any. I thought we had some higher up, but I think we ended up filling those here. So then going down, we have gap at 187 we have a gap down to 137. And then if you want to get really crazy, we have gaps going down to 81 and 75. So these gaps here stem all the way back to pre-first split in July. So July 1st, July 2nd. So those gaps go way, way back. So now remember, gaps fill 9 out of 10 times, and there's different types of gaps. And sometimes when you get a gap, like we got those gaps because we got the news about the split, so we jumped way up. Those don't always fill. So I'm not horribly concerned about those. Again, this is why I just follow levels. Nobody knows what the future is going to bring. Nobody has any real idea as to where we're going to go. You put pieces of the puzzle together. As long-term investors, none of the charts truly matter. If you're going to be a long-term investor, you look at charts that go out. I mean, if we're going to look at like a month chart, I mean, you go look at this, like look at, we were just flat and slowly creeping up over the last decade, and then we took off. So you start looking at charts like this, and we can go over here. Let me find Apple, and I'll show you guys Apple. So like you look at Apple, since the housing recession, take a look at this. And this is what we discuss regularly, is comparing Apple to Tesla. So Apple came out, they had their iPhone stuff, all the releases down during here, they had the housing market. Look at the charts here on the month chart. This was the bear market recession that we were in. Look at how ugly the chart was and how inconsistent it was. Then we came down, and then finally we cleared ourselves. The Fed made the U-turn on the rates, and then we had this nice steady climb coming all the way up. Then here, I believe it was here that Apple had decided that they were doing the App Store. I think that's when they came out with that. I think I could be wrong, but I think that's when it was. So we got that nice jump up. Then we had a little bit of sell-off because you had the excitement, a little bit of a sell-off. And then what happened in 2013? They started doing buybacks. Now we see that climb coming all the way up. Then 2016, which ironically came down off of this high. And then right here is where Warren Buffett started to buy. And then the stock started going back up again. So over this whole decade, regardless of what was going on, the stock went up. So during these times right now, it seems really rough. And look at the RSI for it. Like they were way above RSI for the longest time on the month chart. And they stayed there and they just kept on moving. So like when we're looking at these times right now, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be in. But you go back to the 2009 time frame, like, yeah, it sucked. But guess when you wanted to buy? Right around here. Sure, you could have tried to time it around here, but right before the Fed U-turned. You could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people do that. But when you're looking at these times right here, this is when you would want to buy, because then look what happened within 3 years afterwards. This is what we're looking at now with Tesla, in my opinion. We are looking at these turbulent times right here where we are going to get some rough markets, and we're going to look back at these times and be like, dang, I wish I had bought more then. If you had dollar cost averaged in Apple at these times right here, you would be extremely wealthy right now. Like here and then here, this is where some people maybe, oh, it's coming down. They had sell orders going through. Oh, and we got our next buying opportunity. But even this next buying opportunity here, look at how much higher it was than over here. I mean, down here with their split adjustment, even at the high over here, it was $6. And the low here was still a 2x, more than a 2x. So this is the reason why dollar cost averaging to me and historically is the best way to go. And then of course you're, going where it's at, what is this, 13 years later and going from $6 to 135, that's a pretty darn good return. So thinking about what Tesla can do, and Tesla has significantly more total addressable market that they're going to have coming out. They're going to have so many more, such higher profits. The profits are going to be significantly higher based upon what we know. Obviously, it has to be proven, but based upon everything that we know, I mean, gosh, this is why I want to be in it, because we've seen Tesla go flat, and now we're in those turbulent times right now. That's it. We're just in these rough, turbulent times. We're going to come out, and then I strongly feel that we are going to be running significantly higher from here. And even on the month chart, look at this. The RSI on the month chart is down to 47. Let's see what we got. Jerry, let me see. Did you see the rumor Elon is trying to get Berlin to 5K a week? It's actually not a rumor. Elon had said that actually back on the Q2 or the Q1 earnings call. I think he was talking about getting it to 5 to 10,000 per week. On the Q2 call and even on this call, he had said 5,000 per week. That is what their goal is for the end of the year. I know Farzad had Gary Black and Alexandra on yesterday, and they both said the same thing. They said Elon is trying to get there, and it's feasible. Ramps go exponentially. So they've gone from nothing to 1,000 per week at the end of June, and then within 3 months, they're now up at 2,000 per week. So getting to 5,000 per week by the end of then is doable. And don't forget, they still are looking to pull the third shift in. They're still only doing 2 shifts over there in Berlin. So when they pull that third shift in December, that's going to start cranking out more vehicles. So 5,000 a week, I think, is doable. I think it's a stretch goal, but they seem pretty confident that they're going to make it happen. Uh, Karab, I like SPY here for a swing trade, possibly more. Yeah. So SPY, I like. Being in an index fund is always a good, safe place to be. The problem with index funds that I have been learning recently is the stocks that are in there are just not high growth stocks. So it's a solid place to have your money. You're probably not going to lose much, but you're not going to gain as much as you could from putting it into a quality growth stock like a Tesla. And even if you individually put it into Apple, you might even do better than putting it into the SPY. Again, I've done the SPY. I like it. I think it's a good place to be. A lot of people do very well with index funds, but they're just not the same as they used to be in the past. And I think they were discussing, it was the NASDAQ 100 the other day, and how the NASDAQ 100 used to be the place where you had the highest and best innovation and highest growth stocks. And now it's just not. Like if you look in there, there's even some value type stocks in there. It just doesn't make sense. Andreas. So you guys, I follow Andreas in the comments all the time because he always counts how many he is. Like if he's joining at number, a certain number, what number comment he is, what number like he is. That is awesome. I like that. Um, and he's in Sweden, so he can also attest to the vehicles running well in the cold. Let's see. Cricket mode, Tesla, $260 after January 2023. I think we might be higher than that. Again, there's a lot in the macro that's going on. So, maybe we get a bear market rally. It's possible. Again, looking back at 2008 and how it just was so all over the place, we never know until the Fed actually decides that they're going to U-turn. We have no idea what's truly going to happen. So I can't even say whether we're going to go up or down. I'm just going to follow these levels here, follow the charts, and say, hey, this is what's going on, and we're going to go from there. Let's see. Let's see. Klaus, you are right. 74 million shares trading hands from today is normal. Yesterday was 117, which was extraordinarily high. Yeah, that is high. So 117 is high, and it's high because, that was post earnings day. So we saw that. We knew that was going to be coming. We knew it's usually high volume the day after anyway, because they always do earnings either pre-market or post-market, and Tesla always does it after market, and the volume is different. So during the day you don't see the same amount, and then everybody reacts to it the day after. So that's why I see all that volume. Logan, didn't watch it, but Meet Kevin posted a video that said Biden could stop the Twitter deal. Not sure how that would work. So actually, right before we got on here, I got confirmation that that was false information. I think it was John. Actually, I think it is still. Let me see where it is in my comments here. And I apologize, guys. At work was crazy busy, so I had not had a chance to get back to all your comments today. Yes, John Jackson had mentioned it. That was false information that came out. I reported on it myself as well because I saw the same story about how the Biden administration was investigating Elon and all of his acquisitions and questioning what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. And I'm like, it makes no sense for the United States government to be against him and say, hey, why would you need this? Why are you supporting Russia? When it's like he's literally putting out $20 million per day to support Ukraine when it comes to Starlink. And he's been asking for funding and the government won't help fund him, but he's the bad guy. So I guess that did come out as false information. So yes, that is not true. I did not watch Meet Kevin's video on that either, but it does sound like it's false information. Let's see. Karav, yes, I find 5K unreasonable, but 3 to 4K seems likely. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think if we can get to 3,500 or 4,000 per week by the end of the year, I'd be very happy with that. Again, ramps are ramps. As long as we are ramping and making progress, that is the important part. And a lot of times we see the stock price coming down on top of all of the other reasons it's coming down is because you got to remember there was a lot of hype that was built into Tesla. They said we are going to be producing this many vehicles, we're going to be delivering this many vehicles, we're going to be growing at 50% every single year. And then we got black swan event after black swan event after black swan event, bringing those numbers down. We had 87% growth year over year last year, and now we're looking at maybe falling short of 50% this year. So when you've priced in 50% with a little bit of a cushion above that, and you're not going to hit that anymore, the stock's going to sell off and adjust accordingly. That's just where we're at. But once we come out of these things and all the headwinds go away and we can go back to over 50% growth, then we'll see those prices come back up in the stock. Oh yeah, here you go, King. Yeah, do y'all talk about the Biden? Yeah, it's funny because I was joking around about that. Somebody on Twitter had also posted about that, saying, if that is true, then Elon playing 4D chess is just so far beyond all of our thinking. Knowing that this could potentially happen, being the puppet master, making this all go through, saying he wants to buy Twitter, and then all of a sudden the government actually shutting it down. Then he has to sell his Twitter shares, and he's going to come and buy Tesla stock again. That would be the ultimate 4D chess by Elon. But it does sound like he actually wants to have a social media platform of some sort. We'll see how that goes. Tesla will octuple in 2022. All right, Yaman. That dude's off the chain. Uh, when inflation reductions start, as soon as we stop spending as a government, please. It's like, for somebody who, and for you guys who don't know, I've gotten myself out of debt. I was $75,000 in debt 5 years ago, and now I have a net worth of almost six figures. And, I'm very proud of that. I've worked very hard and sacrificed a lot to get myself to this point, and a lot of it comes down to just cutting expenses. You cut as many expenses as you can, you live a very simple life, and you just pay down all of your debt. The government needs to learn how to do that. You cannot get yourself out of debt by not paying down debt. It's a problem. Let's see. Jay Lizard, any thoughts on what closing on Twitter will have on the end of the year taxes? Could they postpone taxes if they wait a couple of months? I don't know what you mean by the taxes. Let me know what you mean on that one. Like if you mean from the acquisition or from Elon having to sell shares. If it's from Elon having to sell shares, just a reminder, he sold a lot of the shares that he sold this year. I think all of the shares that he sold this year were all at a loss. So when you're selling shares at a loss, you clearly don't have to pay taxes on them. So if he does have any taxes that he would have to pay at the end of the year from any of this acquisition, that would be covered and offset by the losses he took in the sales that he did in his stocks earlier in the year. So that will all balance out. Yep, Micah, Gary Black, Tesla's price target 550 before December of 2023. So for you guys, analysts, whenever they come out with their price targets, Gary Black included, that is a 12-month price target. So it's usually a rolling 12-month price target. So for him, he sees Tesla being at $550 by October of next year. Now, it's been his price target all year long, just because the macro environment, everything going on right now, has stayed steady. So there's no reason for him to increase his price target. So he is sticking with 550 over the next 12 months, which is almost a 2.5x from where we are right now. I don't know about you, but I'd be okay with a 2.5x over the next year. So Gary's price target is that. So by October of next year, we are looking at October of 2023, 550. Now remember, in that time frame, what are we going to have? We're going to have announcements of at least 2 new factories. We're going to have the Cybertruck release. We're going to have the Semi that's going to be rolling out with production numbers coming out and deliveries showing us whether we're actually going to hit 50,000 semis in 2024. We're going to have energy growth coming up as well. More information about Optimus. So much stuff going on next year. And then we're also going to have the macro environment most likely by that point next year. We are going to be seeing the Fed making a U-turn. Elon is predicting that we're going to be in a recession for most of next year and coming out of that in spring of 2024. So the Fed will probably end up making a U-turn along the way because the Fed raising rates the way they're doing it are probably going to end up forcing a recession. And as Elon said, it's not a bad thing. You're going to clean out a bunch of dead companies that shouldn't be around anyway. But that is in turn going to come back up at the end of the year. So 550, I think, is very achievable. Steven, do you have any Tesla price targets you could share? I can. So I do have my Patreon and my members. All of them get my price targets when I update them every single weekend. So I can give you guys, because I'll be updating them tomorrow. So I'll give you the price targets that I had from last week. Actually, I can bring that spreadsheet up right now. There it is. Ba-boom. So here are my price targets for the next 10 years. So end of this year, I have it 336. I might adjust that down a little bit, not obviously to spread any FUD, but I've got to be realistic. At where we're at right now at 214, I'm not sure if we're going to push there. We do have the midterm elections ending, so we could have a good strong push to the end of the year. And I think if we do push through that, we're going to end up hitting that 313 level. So right now we have to break through the difficult 222. There's a few levels along the way to get to 313, but most of those were relatively easy to break through. So 313, if we can break that, I think we can get up to 336. Next year, I've got 681. So whereas Gary Black is at 550, I'm at 681, 959, and then my big long-term one, 3304 for 2032. Now, for you guys who don't see my valuation model, I do not put in very much energy. I don't put in much at all for Optimus. I don't even put a lot in for FSD and robotaxis. The reason I do not do that is because I don't have enough time to really dive into everything to come up with specific numbers, and it wouldn't do it justice. So I just adjust my PE along the way for that. So I put a little bit of a dollar amount in, and then I will adjust my PE to go along with that, because I'm like, well, if they're going to be bringing in FSD, that is going to be pushing up their growth higher. If they're going to be bringing in energy and really growing that, I push my PE a little bit higher. Optimus, when we get to the end of the decade, I keep my PE a little bit higher to be able to get them pushing higher and then adjusting the stock price accordingly. Now, once we get FSD solved and we can get true numbers out of it, my whole valuation model is going to change. I will then add those true numbers in, and that'll adjust. Same goes with energy. As energy grows and we can see more solid numbers and growth out of that, I will make adjustments. So again, these will be changing this weekend. And sometimes, after, we get the earnings like we have, they may not adjust much. Mine adjust mostly when I do production and delivery forecasts. So the first thing I do is I will go into my production and deliveries, and I will update my production, and my deliveries will adjust off of that. I assume a 1% difference in the production to deliveries. That's what I put into it. So I have that 1% difference, especially now that we're coming to where we're going to be carrying over more vehicles and inventory to the following year and the following quarter. I kept that adjustment in there. So I changed the production, that goes into my valuation model, and then from there, it changes all of my price targets. So that's how I come up with all of mine. And I'll leave this up here for you guys can see it. Let's see here. Are you saying Tesla Vision is not a media platform? Not yet. No, it's going to be x.com that I know. But my thought about Twitter and when he changes it over to x.com is that realistically, thinking about how Tesla operates, thinking about how you basically have a smartphone in your car, that your car is now a smartphone on wheels. Thinking about how you do everything from your smartphone, and he's talking about making it like a WeChat that they have over in China. Imagine having that as part of your car. You're driving along and you're like, oh, hey, I'm hungry. I want to go eat something. Hey, Tesla, order me Subway. Awesome. I'm going to go pick it up now. And you just do voice recognition right over the air with your voice in the car. It orders it, pays for it. You're done. You go, and it's all set. That is what I think is going to get incorporated into Tesla in the future with x.com. I think it's going to be really that far advanced, and not a lot of people see that. Yes, the Dave Ramsey diet. Exactly. That is it. And the guy's not wrong. He's a smart guy. I followed his strategies mostly to the T. I made some adjustments on my own. And for those of you guys who are members and patrons, I will be doing my strategy and how I did it. And it's basically following his whole strategy, but I made my own adjustments. And I will be sharing that with all of you guys who are members and patrons, for in case you guys are looking to try and get yourselves out of debt and financially free. And he's absolutely right, and I did exactly that. And now I'm looking to get myself into real estate to be able to have more cash flow coming in. Oracle Tim net worth will 1,000x in 20. Oh my God. If it 1,000x in 2023, I will be buying all of you guys something. Not sure what 1,000x. Let me see. Wow. 1,000x would be, I can't even do that math. I'm totally fried from this week. But that's a lot of money. So I will be buying my castle at that point, and you guys can definitely come and visit. I will give you guys all plane tickets to come and visit. Let's see. 50,000 semi-producing every year in 2027. Well, Micah, he did say that in 2024 they're going to have 50,000. So that's crazy. I was on with Brian on our live stream thinking that we were going to hit 10,000 next year, which I thought was aggressive. So when Elon dropped a 50,000 bomb over in 2024, like, woo! Moody's credit rating in Tesla in 2023. We might actually get it soon. I have a feeling after talking to Alexandra that we might actually be seeing Moody's credit rating going up a lot sooner than next year, because they're going to look like fools right now with S&P going up on theirs, and now Tesla talking about a buyback. Tesla coming out with everything that they said. They wanted to see the financials getting better. They proved it. They had $3.3 billion in free cash flow coming in. They've got the Semi now that is coming out with production. They've got the Cybertruck, which is in tooling right now. They discussed having the compact car that they're in works with R&D right now. So they are showing Moody's everything that they wanted to see. So if Moody's does not upgrade soon, they are going to look even more foolish than they already do. Yeah, Logan. So a lot of these smaller EV startups won't make it. They'll either go bankrupt or it could be bought by Tesla. I don't know if Tesla would buy them, not out of the realm of possibility. Tesla is totally open to acquisitions. I just don't know if it would be feasible for them to buy out these companies. I think what would end up happening in that case is, sad to say it, Legacy Auto might go and buy them out instead, just because Legacy Auto, as indebted as they are so slow to the game when it comes to EVs, and they know that they need to fill that gap and void as we are transitioning way faster than anyone expected. I would not be surprised to see any of them going out. Obviously, we saw GM try to make acquisitions with the worst companies, with Lordstown Motors and Nikola, but I would not be surprised to see either one of GM or Ford trying to acquire maybe a Lucid. That might be possible. We might end up seeing that, and Ford could potentially go in and get Rivian. I believe that is, yeah, because they were talking about that before. So it's totally possible that those could happen. And I think that would be the saving grace for the legacy automakers is if that happened. And even then, I don't know if it would save them, because to buy those companies would just put them in even bigger debt. Warren Redlick, Tesla 33 in the year 2030. Yes. So I mean, I'm not too far off of that. I'm 2 years away from that myself. And I actually do want to get Warren on this channel. So I'm going to be reaching out to Warren, because Jen Strahan has been talking to Warren about doing our fundraiser for shirts. And if any of you guys are interested in doing a fundraiser, I'll have my shirt coming in, I think, next week. So I'll be able to show you guys what it looks like. And all the proceeds from it, all the profits we make from the shirts are going to be going to families over in Ukraine. We're looking for some can't think of the word right now. Anyway, some people who are raising funds over there. Some fundraiser, gosh. So yes, some organization we're looking for over there to work with to be able to give the money to help out the families over there. So if anybody's interested, we will have those available. Those are on my site, down in the comments or in the description. Let's see. King, next week be volatile for Tesla because Twitter deal on Friday. Yeah. So we're, again, the biggest thing you have to pay attention to in the market is the more questions. When you have more questions than answers, you're going to have more red than green. That's it. Simple. That's as simple as the market is going to get for you. The more questions you have, the more red you're going to have. When you have answers, then you're going to see more green. Bull market, when you're in a bull market, you usually just have a lot of answers. That's it. You don't have a lot of questions. The market is doing good. Awesome. Think about your normal day-to-day operations. Like when you're at work, Guess what happens when your boss comes up to you and never says anything? You never hear anything from your boss because things are going well. You're only going to hear stuff from your boss and give you a crappy day when something goes wrong and they have to come over and talk to you. That's it. That's how the market works. Same exact thing. So when there's stuff that's going on in the market, your boss is talking to you and your day gets crappier. I mean, some people do like their bosses. I don't have any major beef with my boss, but definitely not a place I want to be at forever. But that's just how it works in most situations. Let's see. Wondering why my price alerts under 200 haven't hit. I haven't hit there yet. We're getting there. Don't know if we will. Obviously, as we saw in the charts, I'll bring those right back up here. So again, as we saw in the charts, we're down here. We're getting close, but we keep on bouncing off. So if we keep on consolidating as we are, we might end up breaking out of this. Maybe we break it Monday, fill this gap, and then this is what we pay attention to. So just like up here, we saw us break out, and then we came back into it again. We could get a false breakout like that. It happens. And so I'm going to pay attention. If we fill this gap, are we going to continue going up, or are we going to fall back down into this? So again, as you said, next week being volatile, we may very well go up and then hear some rumors or whatever FUD coming out that pulls us back down. Let's see. Karav just calculated Berlin current production estimate. Looking forward to that. I'm sure you're going to put it up here in a moment. Let's see. Jay Lizard, yes. Yesterday, Gary Black said Tesla's highest priority should be the electric pickup trucks. The comment didn't garner much attention, but it's the bold statement. Any thoughts? Yes, I saw him say that as well. And he's absolutely right. Going into that next year, seeing as he had put it, that is a platform that is not going to cannibalize themselves. Obviously, the compact car will cannibalize the Model 3. The Model Y, as he said, did not really do that. It did a little bit, but I don't think it was a cannibalization so much as an upgrade. So people, instead of getting the Model 3, decided to spend a little bit more to get the Model Y. And then because there is still enough price discrepancy, some people choose to go with the Model 3 instead. So when it comes to the compact car, the Model 3 is going to just get squashed entirely. So it'll still be there. You just won't see the same numbers coming out of it. The numbers are going to completely be taken over by the compact car. The compact car won't squash much of the Model Y, but it'll take the Model 3 out. The Cybertruck, on the other hand, nothing is like it. Totally new platform, nothing like that in the Tesla fleet whatsoever. So there's no cannibalization. And it's at least in the US, the trucks make up 20% of the market. He thinks that worldwide it makes up about 20% also. Could be true. I haven't looked at the numbers myself. But that's a huge total addressable market that you want to get into, which is why he says that is the number one focus Tesla should have next year. Obviously, the semi coming out is big. They're going to want to focus on energy, but their number one priority should be the Cybertruck coming out. And it sounds like it from Elon's standpoint that is their number one priority. So hopefully they just keep on reiterating that. Yes, Warren Redlick is world number one Tesla bull. I agree. He's a very strong bull, but he would be what I call a realistic bull. It's him. Stephen Mark Ryan is up there. I would say the same thing. Yaman is a little off the charts for my taste. I think for a lot of, even for bulls, he's off the charts for them. So yeah, I do like that. And I'm really looking forward to being able to chat with Warren. I've not had a chance to chat with him yet. I am looking to get Farzad on here too. I got to reach back out to him. Our schedules just didn't coincide last time I reached out to him. Let me see. Danny. If a stock split increased the amount of stocks out there, why buy back the stock? Wouldn't it make more sense not to have done the split? Yes and no. So you want to do the split. Split makes the stock more accessible to more people. And as they had explained when they did it, it makes it better for the employees, especially the employee stock purchase plan. More employees can access it. It is better for them. And in the long run, think about all the employees that they've had over the last decade and how many of them on the factory lines are millionaires because they have Tesla stock that they've been purchasing over the years. So they want to continue that going forward because that gives a great buy-in. I know from a lot of manufacturers that I work with that when you have a structure where you have basically every employee is technically an owner of the company in some facet, whether it's small pieces or whatever it is, you get a lot better production and buy-in from them. So that's very important to have. So that's why you do a split, is to make the stock more accessible. And then you end up doing a buyback to take out the dilution. Because when you split the stock, and then you have the employees do the employee stock purchase plan. That dilutes the stock even more. So then you do the buybacks to just clean that up. So you do the split, you have the employee stock purchase plan, you do the right thing for everybody, but it makes a little bit of a mess. You do a buyback and you clean up that mess. That's really what it comes down to. And then you just rinse and repeat, and you keep on doing that over and over again. Micah, Tesla can sell 200,000 semis every year. I don't think so. Right now, the market Freightliner is the number one, and they are 75,000 per year. So the market for semis just isn't that large. So I don't think they'd ever get to that point. I don't even think that's one of their goals, is to reach that level. If they could, I mean, that'd be awesome. If they somehow manage to get it out there that, we need more semis on the road. Now, got to go back to The Simpsons. Simpsons predicted everything. And when you're looking at the Simpsons episode where Homer is a truck driver and finds out that the truck drives itself and he doesn't actually have to do anything, that's going to be a reality. And that is going to be a game changer when it comes to this. And if nobody else has that technology, then Tesla's going to win. Tesla's going to win when it comes to that. So maybe they do end up selling 200,000 a year because nobody else is going to sell any. So it's possible if that ends up coming true. Let's see. Seattle grown with gaps down to 187 and 137. What type of negative catalysts do you think might drop the stock to those levels, other than nuclear war, of course? Yes, if nuclear war happens, we will drop to those levels and we'll have bigger concerns on our hand. But so 187, I think, is achievable as a gap fill if Elon sells next week. I think we drop below 200, and I think we have enough pullback in the stock to fill that 187 gap. To get down to 137, I think we would need a combination of both Elon selling to push us below that $200 level, and then the macro environment continuing to get worse. The Fed, inflation showing us that it's not coming down, us definitely seeing signs of a deeper recession. China coming into a recession as it is going to be rough. If we see Europe getting into a worse recession than it is, that could give us more fears that we are definitely getting into a worse recession. So those are the things I think that could end up pulling us down to 137, but we would need basically all of that. So basically what we've had this year with all the black swan events, more of those, which again, I can't rule them out. It's totally possible that we could get them. But we would have to see all those things happen for us to get down to that level. Oh man, I still haven't done that. I gotta clean that up. I gotta fix my bots. Unless you guys really want a hot Tinder date. Let me see. J Lizard. The credit rating company's credibility seriously needs to be addressed. Yeah, no kidding. The parameters they measure inaccuracies and how they measure discrepancies on the companies are compared to one another. It is really bad. And I know Alexandra obviously is working on that. And the whole credit rating thing itself is a huge scam to begin with. It's almost as bad as ESG. ESG is terrible. But think about anything that we have out there right now where somebody is making money on controlling decisions from someone else inevitably gets corrupted. It's just how the system works. And they're like, hey, we have control of something. In order for you to get what you want, you've got to, line our pockets with some money, and then we'll give you what you want. It's a horribly corrupt system and should just really go away entirely. Now, let me see. Steven, thoughts on Stephen Mark Ryan and his views on Tesla and then Wall Street? Well, Stephen Mark Ryan, I like the guy. I watch him. I think he is entertaining. He's obviously, slightly on the more arrogant side, but he says it himself. And for me and how I am, when somebody is who they are and they are open about it and they're not trying to hide it and be secretive and they're like, I am who I am and that's it. I respect that. Whether I like it or not, I at least respect it. And sometimes, he comes off a little bit childish to me. But the guy, he's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. I think his views on Tesla are good. Whenever I need that little boost in the day, and I'm like, I'm kind of feeling depressed about Tesla, I need a little pick me up to remind me how awesome Tesla is. I'll throw him on because he's definitely going to, be that great cheerleader for you. Or Ross Gerber, actually, is probably my favorite Tesla cheerleader right now. If you guys don't follow Ross, definitely follow him. And so I think, he's good on that. When it comes to Wall Street, he's right about Wall Street. Wall Street's a bunch of manipulators, and that's why he says the charts mean nothing, and he jokes around about that. And he's right. When it comes to long-term, charts mean nothing. It's going to end up being fundamentals are going to rule the day in the long term every single time. The charts are only moved in near-term reasons for market manipulation purposes or whatever. And that's how, people who are in the market make money in the market. That's just the fact. That's how it is. So I think he's right on both aspects. I think he's right that Tesla's going to do extremely well in the future. And I think he's right that Wall Street is a bunch of hootenanny. And, if it weren't for Wall Street, we wouldn't be here investing right now. So it is what it is. Karav. Yaman has got me addicted to saying anything will triple in any year. Like he's been saying it all year long. Tesla's going to triple. It's like, dude, it's October. Like we're not going to triple. Like if we get to $600 by the end of the year, like kudos to you, Yaman. But man, he's a little much for me. Let's see. Harmsy, if now that Cybertruck is confirmed in tooling, when do you think the first production Cybertruck rolls off the line? So I know Elon said that he's getting his in a couple of weeks. I don't know if his is a prototype or a production. I would imagine it's probably like final prototype that he's going to be driving, or probably like maybe first production coming out. So if tooling is going on, from what we had heard, that sounded like, and Karav, you probably know, so you can let me know this as well. We had heard that the 9,000 ton gigapress, which is used for the Cybertruck, was done with Idra a few weeks ago, but then I also heard like the next day that it was already in Houston. So I don't know if it was already in Houston, then it's definitely got the line up and running, and they're working on the tooling already for it. So I don't know the timing on that, and I don't know if they needed to have that there to do all the tooling. But I would imagine they're going to be starting maybe test production, because remember back when they, all of the new gigafactories when they started, Berlin was doing all their pre-production production, and all the tests were going on for a few months before they actually went live with production. So it's probably going to be what's going on with Cybertruck. So we'll probably see the first ones happening. I know maybe over the next month and a half, we'll see the first practice pre-production vehicles coming out for the Cybertruck. And they'll probably see first production vehicles coming out either end of Q1 or beginning of Q2. That's my guess. It's probably maybe the same thing. Maybe like March when we saw Berlin and Austin start up. Probably around that same time, we're going to see the Cybertruck fire up. Let me see. Lars from Best in Tesla. Tesla will make $153 billion in profit over the next 3 years total. I'll actually have to do the math on mine and see what mine comes up with, but that's totally feasible. Thinking about the fact that even in a deep recession, Tesla will still have enough free cash flow to be able to buy back $5 to $10 billion of stock. That's insane. That's just insane numbers coming out of there. And like people compare it to Apple and they say, well, Apple can do the buybacks because they have all that kind of money now. And I'm like, right, but Tesla's going to catch up to that very quickly. People just, they're not grasping the speed of the growth that Tesla's going to be on. Denny, I was in your first 100 subscribers. Nice, dude. I do remember most of you guys, and I do remember you. Jerry was in there. He was one of the very early ones on. Let me see. I'm trying to see who else was in there. There were quite a few of you that I do remember from a while back, and thank you guys so much. I mean, yeah, you guys are awesome. Sticking around and all this and still supporting me. You guys are the best. Let me see. What do you think about the other EV company like Mullen? I thought Mullen went bankrupt. Am I wrong? Did I miss that? I thought they did. I know like Polestar is very quiet, flies under the radar, but they're making vehicles and they're making profits. I think Polestar is going to be perfectly fine, but they're going to be one of those companies that, they'll just stay the level they're at. They're not going to be anything super fancy, but they'll be out there producing vehicles and selling them. Mullen, Mullen, that's why. I bought Mullen a little while ago. Let me see if I don't even know. I don't use this very often here. It's MULN, right? Yes, Mullen Automotive. 37 cents. Oh man. So I bought Mullen. Somebody gave me a tip on Mullen a while ago, and I bought it. Oh man, when did I buy it? Was it here? It was one of these spikes, and somebody gave me a tip, and I'm like, I was right here. I was like, I'll take a chance on it. So I bought a little bit right here and took off. And so this is how I very rarely do swing trading anymore, just because I don't have a lot of time to follow. But somebody gave me a tip. I was like on a gut. I took a hunch, put a little bit of money in. Didn't have a lot, didn't make a lot, but I put it in here. And I have a rule when I put in stocks, when I'm playing it strictly for a momentum push, I will put it in. As soon as the stock goes up the percent that I want and I make my money back, I will then sell out of that amount. So I've now made my money back and I'm not using my money anymore. And then I put it in another stop above it and I will sell out. And then I've made twice my money. And then after that, I kind of let it ride. And then once I feel like I'm done with it, I'll put it in. So I almost tripled my money over here just on the way this went up. So I was very happy about that push. So whoever gave me that tip, thank you. I can't remember where it was. It was one of these. I made some pretty decent money on it. But of course, now it's at 37 cents and womp womp. And we had this giant push today because it was super oversold, it looks like. But yeah, these are the ones you got to be careful with. When you start looking at stocks that are penny stocks like that, especially going into times where we're seeing recessions, these are the companies that could potentially get wiped out. I don't know enough about their financials. That's why I did them as a momentum swing play only. You got to look at financials. So when you're talking about, if you ever hear the term zombie stock, a zombie stock is a company who does not have enough money coming in to even pay off the interest on their debt. That is a zombie company because they don't have enough money to pay the interest, let alone their debt off, which means they're just going to be losing money more and more over time. So I don't know. I would imagine Mullen may be a company like that. Again, I don't know their financials well enough to know, but usually when I see a stock at this level coming down the way it's been coming, chances are it is. Yes, Charles, hit the like button. I did find out actually, Brian over on My Tesla Weekend. I did not realize all the algorithm things and how they work just by mentioning like like this video, like this live stream will bring up the algorithms. It's crazy. So smart out there. Jay Lizard, so much talk about creating inexpensive cars. Is Tesla working on any ridiculously expensive luxury cars? No, which is hilarious because a lot of the bears come out and say, Tesla won't be able to sell their vehicles because they're too expensive if we go into a recession, but the competition is going to come and get them. But the competition is coming out with $300,000 vehicles. Like, what? I just don't understand. Their logic doesn't make sense to me. How is it possible the competition is going to catch them because Tesla's not making any lower priced vehicles, but competition is only coming out with vehicles that are 3 times more expensive than Tesla's most expensive vehicle? I don't know. Mr. Answer, the first Cybertruck will probably be produced for customers on a Thursday. I don't know where you came up with that stat, but I follow baseball enough to know that those are the craziest stats that I hear. Well, this pitcher, was the first one in history to throw 3 strikeouts in 1 inning on a Tuesday night when there's a full moon. This is the craziest stuff. All right, Karav. Berlin data dump. Current production 2163 weekly. Daily production of 433. Current VIN range is 35,000 to 36,000. Giga Berlin has delivered 6,250 Model Ys so far in Q4. That's awesome. Great stats right there. Thank you, Karav, for coming up with that. And I will take a look at my numbers and see how close we are with that later. Oh, 200,000 semis worldwide. Okay. That's actually, you know what? The numbers I saw for 75,000, maybe that was just the US. I will have to take a look at that. Clueless, here we go. This is my boy. Yes, we were chatting about this. We survived 4 attempts by shorts to break the 200 level. Market makers could have easily permitted the drop. There are too many buyers just under $200. Yes, thank you. And this is what I was talking about on this morning's video is just that. We've seen, I'll go back over here to go back over here to Tesla. As I said, we kept on pushing down, and Clueless gave me the information about that as well with the market makers, saying we kept on trying, and there's just too many people under $200 to buy in. They cannot push it that low. There's too many people who want to get in that low. So maybe again, this is sometimes why you test it 3 times because maybe like they tested it, a lot of people bought. They tested it, a lot of people bought. They tested it, a lot of people bought. Maybe they're going to test it again to see if, all right, maybe we've now run out of buyers. Or, again, like I said, if Elon sells, then it's not going to matter because he's going to sell so many shares that it's going to automatically push it below. So we'll see how that goes. But, that's some of the things that we pay attention to. So thank you, Clueless, for that information. All right, Karav coming up with Austin's numbers. Current production is 1933 weekly, which we did hear on the call that Elon said that currently they are running at a rate of 2,000 per week. So they should be consistently hitting that very soon. So 322 daily. Giga Texas has delivered 5250 Model Y so far in Q4. Nice info. I like it. And then Karav, Fremont and Shanghai, no update. Really will post everything to Twitter at night. So you guys definitely check him out there. Um, there we go. When should Tesla announce an electric plane, bus, wheelchair, and HVAC? HVAC is going to come soon. I know they're already working on it, so that is going to be coming very soon. The plane, Elon, in the past, unless you were watching Iron Man 2, um, realistically in the past, he has said it's not feasible, at least right now, to make an electric plane. Not to say that the technology can't grow in the future, but as of right now, it does not make sense. Wheelchair probably coming. I have no doubt they'll throw something like that out there. And then a bus. So when it comes to mass transit, that's what the robotaxi is going to be for. You're basically going to see a bunch of small buses out there rather than large buses. So I believe it's Lion Electric that is working on buses right now. And so I think what it's going to come down to is smaller robo taxis. We'll see how that transitions in the future, how it takes. Obviously, we need to see enough people actually grasping onto the robo taxi platform versus going onto buses. I think being in a smaller vehicle with less people would be more appealing to many. Not many people like to get on a bus with 30, 40 people. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the robotaxi is going to be their venture into mass transit rather than a bus. Micah, I like his sarcasm. Yes, yes, I do too. I like to be sarcastic myself, but he does it very well. I'll see. Karav, your guesses. Let's see. Cybertruck is in tooling. I expect limited production to start in May or May through July. Yes, and they did say that they were going to be at volume production by July of next year. So again, when it comes to giga castings and all of that, that could end up speeding up production. Maybe they end up speeding up and going faster. Yes, David, you were an early one too. You were like one of the very first. So when I actually started doing um the Tesla stuff on here, I was kind of finding my footing. I was doing investing in a whole bunch of different things, didn't really know what I was doing. If you guys who were early on, oh my God, those videos were definitely rough. The quality wasn't good. I mean, heck, even my quality now, I need to improve, with the studio, but I've made some massive improvements since then. So thank you guys for all of your input and feedback to help get me here. But back then, it was rough. And you guys stuck with me. And I had 57 subscribers previously before I even started doing this stuff. So yeah, you guys are awesome. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Here's some numbers. Truck quantities. That's from 2015. Daimler 370,000. Dongfeng 220,000. Volvo 174. FAW 167. VW 165. CNHTC 159. Packer 140 per year. Okay. All right. That's good numbers. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is awesome. I did not realize that those were the numbers. Yes. Credit ratings ESG are like the mafia except with no honor. You're so right. They don't care. It's like as long as we get what we want, we don't care. Uh, let's see, Jay Lizard. We have to remember that Tesla workers at this price can now buy like an entire share per paycheck in their retirement fund tax free. Yes, exactly. So this is why splits are so important for the workers. And not only that, but so the way it works for them is they basically contribute a certain amount per paycheck, goes into a little fund for them, and then when the window opens up, that money gets put into purchasing the stock at a discount during those windows. But if they in those shares, I don't know if they can do it, because I think for me, I can't remember if I had fractional buys that I was able to get. So I don't know if they can do that through the Tesla one or if they have to be full shares. So it's just more beneficial to the employees to be able to have, more money going into more shares for them in the future. Let's see. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate the super sticker. I appreciate that very much. Let me see. Karav. During the Q4 earnings call, I wanted to start like this. Kirkhorn, before we start, Elon has some opening word. Elon, Tesla will triple. Tesla will triple in 2023. He's just going to take Yaman's words right there. That would be awesome. Oh my god! So, and I do love it too because when you guys can let me know too. I like when Elon is on. I get excited when Elon is on. Um, I do like I like the way he pumps the stock. We talk about Tesla cheerleaders. There obviously is no better Tesla cheerleader than Elon. But for me, I like it. Obviously, the market doesn't. It's like every time he opens his mouth, you can see the chart just selling off. But I like it because he talks to us on our level and explains to us what's happening in the future, which is what we're looking at anyway. I'm looking 5, 10, 15 years down the road. That's what Elon's talking about. He's like, all right, if the stock goes down tomorrow, I don't care. I was saving up to my Tesla boat. Actually, I'm wondering about that. So I was looking at obviously, shipping costs are a huge thing. That was a big reason why Tesla, is smoothing out the wave just because of the fact that these end of the quarter logistics costs are so astronomically high. And I just saw on the news today that Costco actually has their own shipping containers, their own shipping boat that moves the containers. Wonder if that's something that Tesla is going to get into. And when it comes to being on the water, I don't know how powerful the battery operated boat would be as opposed to I don't know enough about the technology to know that if a battery freight carrier like that would be enough in the water. Obviously there's plenty of surface space where they could just throw solar panels on it so that you can just charge all day long. I mean, and of course when you're in the ocean there's no shade unless there's clouds, so you'll have plenty of energy coming out there. So that would be interesting if Tesla does get into their own boats. Thank you, Kenneth. Yes, 7,000, keep on trucking. So next goal. So for you guys, I've set some little goals for myself. I wanted to hit 7,500 by my birthday. That's November 8th. So with the algorithms and things going on with YouTube, the growth of the channel slowed a little bit. I'm still happy with it. I'm not going to complain. But hitting 7,500 from my birthday would need some help from you guys. So if you guys share and like videos all the time, that's awesome help. I appreciate all of that support. All of that sharing definitely helps. If you guys are on Twitter, share it there too. That this way it gives more exposure to the videos to help it grow faster. So those are my little goals for myself: 7,500 by my birthday and then 10,000 by the end of the year. So those are my little goals for myself. And then 10,000, when we hit the 10,000 level, I'm going to do some big giveaways. I'm going to shave my head, which I know doesn't mean much to you guys, but every single year for like the past decade, I've like trimmed it down a little bit lower, a little bit lower. And I can't go any lower at this point without taking it all off entirely. And then I'm going to do a bunch of shirt giveaways as well. So I do have, I'm not going to really push my merch that much. I'll have it in case you guys want it. So I will have a merch store, but I'm not one who's going to be out there like trying to pawn my stuff, but I will have it out there. And when it's out there, when we hit 10,000, I will be doing a giveaway. I'll be giving away a bunch of shirts. I'll be giving away, I've got cyber socks that I've got too, so I'll give those away. And then anybody who's members and patrons, I'll be doing a separate one for you guys alone, just because you're members and patrons. So I'll do 2 different giveaways for them. Let's see. When I see Cybertruck in videos, my brain won't accept it as real life. Always looks CGI. Will be amazing to see in real life. Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I cannot wait to see these in the wild. And at this point, like I remember when they announced it and I saw it and I wasn't a huge Tesla fan. I didn't know enough about Tesla to be as excited as I am now. And I was like, oh man, as I saw it, I was like, it's not really my style. I was more of a traditional looking truck kind of guy. And I didn't put a reservation in, even though it was only $100. But at the time, I also didn't have a lot of money. Back in 2018, I was still in debt. This is when I was still looking at probably $60,000 in debt at the time. Like, I can't afford a Cybertruck. Forget that. I'm not going to bother putting my money in there. I couldn't fathom myself being where I am right now financially. So again, that's just the power of, the hard work and getting yourself out of debt and having your money make money for you. You can start looking at things like this. So, I'm in. So I'm like, I probably won't see mine until 2025 or 2026. But if they do announce the cyber van, which don't forget, Elon did announce that they're working on a cyber van. That's been like super quiet. Since he announced it, there has been nothing going on about that. So I'm excited because when they announce that, I am definitely going to be dropping one of the first reservations on that. And I might actually see my cyber van before the cyber truck, depending on when they start doing that. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, John. Elon told us all what to do. Buy everything you can till they announce buyback. That'll be the launch pad. Seriously, like when you look at Elon, a lot of people get frustrated with Elon because they're like, Elon's selling, he's doing this, he's saying things on Twitter and, he shouldn't be saying this. Look, if Elon was allowed to come out and say, Hey everyone, I am selling shares tomorrow. So please, if you are looking to not worry about the stock, go ahead and sell today because I'm selling tomorrow. He would do it, but the SEC doesn't allow that. So, that's to them the market manipulation. So he drops hints here and there and he basically tells us when we should buy. Think about when at the annual shareholder meeting. It's like, hey, by the way, if you happen to see anything dip in the stock because of these reasons for Twitter, it's probably a good buying opportunity. Sure enough, what happened the next 2 days? He sold. So he tells us when when things are going on. He just doesn't tell us directly. Let's see, Micah. Tesla, 2.25 million cars in 2023 minimum. I have them at 2.3 million myself right now. So yes, I totally agree with that. Ian, good evening from the UK, Tim. Good evening, sir. And I apologize. I know sometimes it's Ian or Ian, so I do not know how you pronounce it, and I apologize if I am wrong, but I appreciate your support. Yes, smash that like button. Charles, I'm loading the boat with Tesla. Absolutely. I am doing the same thing. Sergil, thank you. You've been around with me for a long time as well. Oren, you also have been around. Well, look at all you guys. Yeah, I remember all of you guys. Gosh, from last year, definitely. Both of my. Oh, there we go. Same. I've got a few Ians from over in the UK. It's awesome. I don't know. Is that a popular name over there? I don't know. Maybe it is, or maybe just I lucked out and I got all of them on my channel. This quote: "Cybertruck looks like a doorstop and is uglier than my girlfriend." I don't know whose quote that is, but I mean, you're not wrong. It does look like a doorstop. I wonder if they're going to make a Cybertruck doorstop. I'll have to ask Elon if he's going to do it. Tesla, a $10 trillion company in 2030. So yeah, and for you guys, if you didn't get to see or hear about it on the earnings call, Elon did say that, he can now see a path for Tesla to get to be more valuable in market cap than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. So that right there means that just over $4 trillion based upon today's market cap. That would be just over 4 trillion. And people are like, "Oh, that's never going to happen." But back in 2015, before Tesla was even profitable, Elon said that they will have a higher market cap than Apple. At that time, Apple's market cap was $700 billion. Guess what? Tesla hit $900 billion. Actually, Tesla hit $1 trillion last year. So they hit it. And so Elon now saying this and seeing a path to get to it, Elon's not going to say it unless he can actually see it happening. When Elon sees a path, that means he has actually worked out all the details that are needed along the way to get to that goal. That means he has gone out and said, all right, well, if we get to this point and we make all of these things happen, we will have this much money coming in. We will be worth this much. Our market cap will be X. I see all these bottlenecks along the way. I see all the challenges we need to overcome, which is why he also says we have to work hard to get there because he knows all of the challenges that they're going to have to face along the way. And they're very agile when it comes to a company and manufacturing. So anytime there's things that come up like COVID, they can maneuver around them better than anyone else because that is their culture in the company. So getting to that path, he can see it. Now there's a path. We just have to walk the line to get to that path. So I can definitely see us getting to that point where we're definitely well over $4 trillion. And then who knows at that point, being over $4 trillion, being bigger than both of them combined. And he said that's without Optimus. And if they are going to start production on Optimus next year, and I'm still, I'm optimistic that they could, but at the same time, I'm being realistic. I think 2024 is more realistic for production for Optimus, at least in a facet where they can start using it in the factories. Optimus, I think, getting into homes, he said 3 to 5 years. I'm going to say 2030. And if we can start hearing about reality of that happening by 2027, 2028, 10 trillion by 2030, absolutely possible. Sergil. Am I the only one tired of hearing about the Twitter deal, sell shares, blah, blah? I say, let's just look at Tesla data. I agree. And again, this is such a near-term blip on the radar that it's just, I'll be glad. I really want this to be over. I kept thinking all year long, oh my God, it's going to be over. I thought it was going to be done in August and it wasn't. I thought it was going to be done in September and it wasn't. And it's just keep on kicking the can down the road. I just want it to be done. I agree, Sergil. I want this to be done and over with next week. Make it done. And that's it. Yeah, I buy a Cybertruck doorstop. I totally would. I'll buy them and I'll give them away on this channel. Heck yeah. Let's see. All right. That is that. We've done everything here. I've gone over all the stuff. I've chatted with you guys. This has been awesome. It's been over an hour. Again, thank you guys all so much. Hitting 7,000 subscribers, all of your support. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing. I've made the improvements in my studio. Most of the money I have been making from this channel has either gone into Tesla stock or into the studio to make better content for you guys because I want to be able to pay you guys back in some way. And then I put the other money aside to be able to buy stuff for giveaways for you guys. So I appreciate all of the support you have given me. And I'll go through the last few comments here because it's all about you guys. And then I'll jump off because I still have to eat dinner. Let me see. Oh, where did it go? Ian, hey Tim, public EV charging is getting expensive in the UK, 75 cents per kilowatt hour. Do you think this will affect demand? I don't think so, because let me know over there as well. What do the fuel costs look like? Are the fuel costs going up as well? Because if fuel costs are going up, then it's just all energy costs are going up, and it's not going to affect demand because in the long run, you think about it, it's still costing less than gas. And so because it's still costing less than gas, it's not going to affect demand at all. If anything, it'll probably cause more people to want to buy EVs because I'm sure the gas prices are going up even more than EV charging prices are going up. Did you talk about FX? No, I did not talk about FX. I don't know what you mean by FX. And maybe I'm just missing it because I'm completely burned out. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. If Tesla's a 4 trillion market cap, how much would that be per share? Based upon today's price, looking at the fact that if we hit $333 is 1 trillion. So 4 trillion would be 4 times that. So like 15, almost $1,500. That'd be 4 trillion. So that's why I think if we hit 1,000 in 2025, which is my guess, then we'll be getting close to that. And I thought that we would surpass between 2025 and 2027, we will surpass Apple in market cap. That's my guess. For dinner tonight, I'm having Subway. I got myself a nice ham and turkey wrap over at Subway. That's my go-to, just because it's quick and easy. I normally have salads for dinner, but when I do these live streams, I just grab that. It's a little treat to myself. Oh, foreign exchange, yes. Yeah, foreign exchange was a big hit this quarter for sure. That was something that a lot of people didn't factor in. But still, even with the foreign exchange, they still brought in $3.3 billion in free cash flow. Let's see. In UK, fuel has gone up roughly 50% while superchargers have doubled or more. Okay, all right, that's legit then. So that is a concern. So, and that is one of the concerns I had when it came to electricity is we know how these companies work. These companies are like, oh, there's more demand for it. We're going to go up on our prices. And you can say it's supply and demand, and that's what causes it. But there's a lot of manipulation that goes into that also. So that's why I think when we get into the solar and wind power, these companies who are controlling the electricity aren't going to have as much power to control that anymore because you have solar. So if all of a sudden every EV charging station is just run by solar panels, that price isn't controlled by anybody. And then when you get auto bidder out there, you're going to completely destroy all the prices as it is. So we have a little ways to go. So we'll probably see a bit of manipulation like this when it comes to electrical charging prices. But yeah, I think eventually over time it'll end up coming down. Congrats on the subs, well deserved. Thank you, I appreciate that. All right, yes. Subway nice, good night from the UK. Enjoy your sub. I am going to go enjoy that. And all of you guys, I'm from the UK. Thank you so much because I know it's late there and a lot of you guys are on. So thank you all so much. Again, 7,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. So I truly, truly appreciate all of your support. If you guys are over on Twitter, I'm there as well at Oracle Tim 1. We do have a Discord chat. That link is in the comments below if you guys want to join us on Discord. I'm not on there as often just because I don't have a lot of time, but a bunch of guys, Gabach is over there. Mark is over there. A few other guys are on over, having their great conversations that are going on over on Discord if you guys want to check that out as well. And if you guys do want to become members, to go through all the extra stuff I'm going to be putting out there. I don't have a lot right now. So if you guys want to become a member, there's not a lot of information, but I do put over there my price targets. I've got my valuation models. I've got my production and delivery forecasts, videos that go over how I come up with all the different levels in the charts that I see. And I'm going to be going over all the ways that I've come out of debt and help you guys for that as well. So there's some member perks and then discounts on all the merch that I will have. So thank you guys so much. I will see you all later.